I'm staying with is asleep, and with as loud as his alarm is, and the fact that he had it routed through his speakers last night, and it didn't wake him up, I'm pretty sure he'll sleep through this. So, at least I can do this in a warm room right now. This is September of 2016. I went all the way back to then for a reason. I typed, "People are treated better for looking pretty. That is a fact. That doesn't mean I agree with it." Guys, stop. Hey. I have seen it with my own two eyes my entire life. If you are pretty and I am nice to you, it is because you are a wonderful person, not because you are pretty. If you are ugly, it doesn't mean we are friends, because ugly doesn't always mean nice. I like nice. I like being nice to people, and I like people treating me nicely by people. I respect honesty, integrity, and don't care if you wear makeup or wear rags. If you are nice to me, I like you. If you are honest, I may not agree, but I will respect you for it. If we are friends, you earned it. And if I help, I don't expect a relationship, and I don't think you owe me sex. Pretty people tend to confuse this in me more than others, but those others understand not being pretty, and to them everything doesn't have to be about sex. Some people understand this too, or some pretty people understand this too, but they are bombarded by those wanting sex a lot. So for them it may be difficult to know who is real and who just wants sex. When nobody ever kisses you or tells you that you are attractive, it's easier to believe people help because they care. When you are attractive, you might have 10 guys helping, but you never know if they really care or just want to stare. Now here's Mahalia Jean-Pierre. She's one of the people that I went to rescue while I was in Virginia. She typed, "Yo, I thought of this the other day. There is white privilege, and there is pretty privilege, and there is light eyes privilege." That is correct. Joanna Taylor Smith is blonde-haired and blue-eyed. She gets treated better than most of the people I know. Hold on a minute. Stop! You do stop! Stop! No. No. Anyway, that's supposed to make him stop. Taking your fingers like this and poking him in the side sometimes works. Apparently it didn't. I'm gonna have to apparently separate the two. I'll be right back. Anyway, this is the frame of mind I was in 2016. Now I'm going to make two videos here. This one right here will be 2016. I didn't know how to make videos at this point in time, so everything was all in typing. And I was typing a lot because I didn't have any friends. Not really in real life. I had nobody really to talk to at this point. September 20th of 2016. The problem with rooting out all of the people most likely to commit a sexually predatory act to prevent them from doing so in the first place is that the most likely people to become sexual predators are the victims of sexual predators. So, we round up all the victims and punish them for being raped? Is that really your solution? Most predators are family members, father being at the top of the list. Shall we round up all the fathers? If you want to post a solution, think about it for a moment. Punishment should be for the guilty, not dealt out just in case, which, by the way, I saw 4 posts supporting. If you want to run your life by statistics, a hitchhiker is 30 times more likely to be harmed by the driver than the other way around. You are more likely to get shot by a police officer than a felon. If you grew up in the system, you are the most likely candidate for homelessness. If you are homeless, you are the most likely candidate for prison, other than former foster kids who obviously grew up in the system. A $6,000 loan gives them a 60% chance of getting out of poverty and staying out of poverty, where incarcerating them for a year costs twice what most Americans earn in a year per prisoner. Most people on welfare are single mothers who take less than 1% of your taxes, where 6% goes to incarcerating the poor. You are more likely to win the lottery than be killed by a terrorist. An American soldier is 11 times more likely to shoot himself in the head than die in action. The ignorance of the law by the general public is killing more Americans per day than the ongoing war. You don't care to know how awful and inhumane the laws are, how they get them passed, and how they use them, but somehow you think you're right when you say the poor choose it or are making excuses, while they are victimized for being victims. You are not right. You would not want to be treated that way, so your morality is flawed. Prison should be for those guilty of violent crimes, not the victims of violent crimes. Sorry, I wasn't reading it off my phone. I was reading it off the actual screen, so I was apparently off by a little bit. Just so you guys are aware, the most popular pornography in America is family porn. Brothers and sisters, dads and daughters, sons and mothers, aunts and uncles, and nieces and nephews, and that really lets you know that it's not just a major problem. There's a lot of people who are harboring some very sick fantasies. There's this one. My idea of a hero isn't a hate-filled killer. My heroes are the people who feed the hungry, house the homeless, and fight for social justice. This is from September 21st. I wish they treated police brutality like they're treating me for standing up against it. That's from Colin Kaepernick. You guys will find out later why this is so important. Because only a few weeks after I posted this, Tyler Frericks, that's Jennifer Frericks, and Officer Adam Frericks, who's in one of my posts, and Donnie Sparks, who was sexually molested by a kindergarten teacher. They all ganged up on me. Well, Donnie didn't, but the rest of them did. They said that Colin Kaepernick should be punched in the throat by a soldier. And that hurt me a lot. So I made the statement that soldier should be punched in the throat. Do I really feel that way? No. But I feel that the punishment should fit the crime. If a soldier punches Colin Kaepernick in the throat, he should be punched in the throat. That's called equality. This one right here explains my belief in destruction of property. White people in 2016, destruction of property makes protest illegitimate. White people in 1773, throwing tea off in the Boston Harbor. This is how I feel most of the time. When you are dead, you do not know that you are dead. All of the pain is felt by others. The same thing happens when you were stupid. Alright, here's one. I saw 3 posts for people needing a blanket tonight. It's sad when you can use a deactivated phone on the Starbucks internet but can't get a blanket. Are blankets still Are blankets legal in Boulder yet? And Mahalia Jean-Pierre. She's like, legal, ha ha ha. This is a picture of me at Aunt Bee's house. The big dog is Cinder. The white one is Caliente. It's not important what the dogs' names are, I guess. By the way, this name down here, that's Riley Lawton. That's my little sister's ex-husband. And he's got me blocked. I don't know why. Never did him any wrong. This is the owl that I rescued when I was rescuing Jamie and her son from James Payton. It says this one goes out to Ash, Quake, Shady Dan, Crowsy, Leprechaun, and the hundreds of other homeless homies I've lost in the war on the poor. I saved an owl. I wished I had saved you instead. It's September 30th, 2016. October 2nd, 2016. I'm almost on the way, or almost to Virginia at this point. There's a young lady who means the world to me. I'm not sure why. Probably because when I really needed a friend, she showed up and proved she cared. She didn't tell me what to do. She just listened. After 6 months of having a back so screwed up that I couldn't carry my pack 2 blocks, was sleeping behind a dumpster, and my friends kept telling me to do things I was not physically able to do, and after a ton of sleepless nights was unable to mentally do, she took me to storage to drop off my stuff and lighten my load. I was so close to giving up, and after all those friends treated me like crap and abandoned me, I was truly grateful to have her in my life. Folks may not think coming to Virginia was intelligent, but after all I went through, it's the most right thing I could do. I had to listen to myself for once, because doing what everyone else thinks I should be doing lost me a lot of people I care about. If I'm going to lose friends, it won't be because I tried to do what they wanted anymore. I know who is good to me and will always be good to them. And Brittany Rose typed, I'm happy for you and I really hope it all works out for you. I was going to Virginia to see Natalie at her request, and a lot of people told me, dude, don't go, it's a long trip. I was already worried by that point because my support network had fallen apart. Mahalia Jean-Pierre and a few other people that I was going to see, Brett Roloff, folks like that, they weren't there anymore. Well, Brett was in jail. It just ended up being a really screwed up situation. But Natalie wanted me there, and that's why I went. Between her killing herself because I didn't show up fast enough, and me keeping my word and doing what she asked, I chose to do as she asked. She might have attempted to kill herself again if I hadn't gone to Virginia, and that hurt me a lot. Here's one. If you are my friend, you are my friend first. If you want to date, you better be my friend. If you want to get married, you better be my best friend. Sex, not if you ain't my friend. No random romps for me. If I'm not good enough for you when you are sober, you can't have me when you are drunk. Now here, this is the day that we went to Virginia Beach with Natalie and Alycia. I got to hang out with 2 wonderful people tonight. So wonderful that my face hurts from smiling and I have to sober up to drive. No drugs, no alcohol, just good people with no expectations. I feel like I don't even know what I feel like, except wow, and that's fine by me. Just amazing and some more amazing. Yeah, Natalie held my hand that day at Virginia Beach. And we were dealing with a couple of drunks too, but she had busted her leg in that accident trying to kill herself, so it was pretty messed up. Alright, here's October 6th. This place was so cool. The company was exquisite, the weather was perfect, and I think it's one of my new favorite places. The only thing missing was Miss Maddie. That's because I went there with Natalie and Alycia Bollinger. They had invited me there. They'd come and picked me up. They'd given me a ride there. And although we mostly talked about how evil Ted was with Shelley during that ride to get there, it was a good trip. Brenda typed, "So what is this place? It looks cool. I would like to hear more about it." Alright, October 9th. This is, I believe after the whole argument with Miss Jerry, but I'm not sure yet. "A girl kissed me once, I had sex once, I held a woman's hand once. I don't know much about love, but I know everything there is to know about pain. You don't get this because it's not what I choose to give you. Here is a pretty picture, since it's what you will remember about me." And that's the thing, I endured a lot of abuse, but I still tried to give people love in person where it matters. By the way, this picture went to a former Starbucks employee named Morgan. Morgan is a very nice lady. Here, we'll get in close for some details. Alright, Natalie and Alycia at Hampton Roads Pagoda. See, on the left there is Natalie Bollinger, and you notice the NA on her shirt, Narcotics Anonymous. And there's Alycia Bollinger, and there's the Chinese food. When we stopped at the Chinese place, me and Natalie were talking to Miss Shelley while Alycia went in and got the Chinese food, because I was in the back seat. She got a Volkswagen Beetle, a convertible, while I was there. Alycia did. Alycia helped to get me a job at Labor Ready, so it says 21 hours work, 8 hours on the road, several semi-trailers packed, several tons of waterlogged junk, a bunch of boxes, and a picture of North Carolina sunset from a very long bridge. Not bad for 2 days. The pain is temporary. Them kids thought they could outwork me. Laugh out loud. Labor Ready is not for the weak. And yeah, they broke me there, actually. That fucked me up good. I mean, I was already physically messed up and should not have gone to work, but because I had spent all my money rescuing Jamie and her son in South Dakota, I got to Virginia broke as a joke. Now, this is during the period of time that I supposedly was stalking Natalie and Alycia. Obviously not, because they invited me to Virginia Beach and to the Hampton Roads Pagoda, and Alycia invited me to stay behind where she worked. This is about Jesus. This is where Jesus had died on the cross, and this is Masada. Alright, I'm going to skip through some of these, but I want to read this one. "I walked from Bozeman, Montana to Boulder, Colorado to see my brother. In order for him to walk 3 blocks to see me, he asked to be out of drugs and bored. While he was in jail, he wanted me to ask our parents to buy us stuff, like a house in Boulder. But our parents don't care. I do. I care enough that I offered to work together like families do. He elected to sit under the library doing drugs and trying to hop on every heroin, meth, and alcoholic woman on the street. How well do you know me? I have done what I can, but I cannot do it alone, and I'm tired of trying. We means we. It doesn't mean I want free shit. I work hard. And if there were two of me, or folks would keep their word instead of taking from me, ditching me, and getting free shit from their parents, I wouldn't be suicidal. Fuck Rabbit. Fuck Josh. Fuck Phil and Dirt and Jensen and every other motherfucker who thinks because they got free shit that it's okay to treat me like trash. I treated them well. And when I see them, I am disgusted. It's not okay to say you care if that's how you show it. Most of all, fuck Chapel, Nebraska. I busted my ass in that town for so many people who just shat all over me for it, stole from me, did not pay, and treated me like I deserved it. Yes, there are good people there, but that doesn't stop them from making assumptions that are hurtful. You think I'm lazy? And Chapel, I just want to eat a bullet, because being in a house with one person who tries to understand is nice. But when one of the folks in that house thinks you are lazy and making excuses, it's a shitty situation, and if everything doesn't go perfect, I get treated like I am a bad person. I am a highly motivated person. Not that anyone cares. There's no pretty picture, so nobody is going to read this damn thing anyway. Why do I type this shit? Because nobody fucking cares. It's an outlet. Like talking to a fish or a wall. I'd rather talk to real people, but that's not the life that I have. At that point in time, I might have 3 or 4 people look at a post if I was super popular. Meanwhile, this is just before my birthday. This person unfriended me. Most of these people unfriended me, actually. As soon as Natalie died, a lot of people ditched me. He ditched me. Mahalia Jean-Pierre ditched me. This is after that post from Tyler Frericks, and of course life was sucking really bad, and you know, people wouldn't talk to me unless I was in a really shitty mood, and my life sucked. I mean, people were just mean. The only 2 friends that I actually had at that point in time were, well, the only 3 friends I had at that point in time were Natalie Bollinger, Alycia Bollinger, and Maddie Boa. And the only person who ever called me just to hear my voice was Miss Natalie. Here's another one on October 15th. And by this time, I'd already stopped talking to my dad. I'd stopped talking to Candace Bondurant. I stopped talking to Miss Jerry. And stopped talking to Lana Engeline and Amanda Engeline and all the other people who ganged up on me on that post. Damaged people are dangerous because they know they can survive. I don't want sex. I don't want to make out. I want to be with someone who wants to be with me. I want a friend to experience life with, to do things together. A girlfriend is not in the cards. I'm bald, toothless, and at 35, no woman my age wants a guy who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And I would feel like a creep if I went after someone with the same relationship experience as me, because she would likely still be in high school. A girlfriend isn't the only experience I have missed out on, and I'd like to have some of those other experiences rather than fumble around with a woman who thinks I'm an idiot or creep on some little girl. I want love, and in my mind that has nothing to do with sex. And down here I typed, I was trying to say I'm not after a girlfriend, just a friend, but I guess I understand how it was misread. I went to a movie with Mobley once and have gone out with 2 wonderful women here twice since I got to Virginia, so I have done stuff with friends, but not often, like maybe once every 5 years or so. I wasn't interested in sex with Natalie, she was my friend. When I had a place to stash my backpack, life sucked a lot. or when I had no place to stash my backpack, life sucked a lot. Now that I have a car, I can stash my pack, put on a clean shirt, and be treated like a person when I walk down the street. A black man can't just stash his skin in his car like it's a backpack. See, I'm for racial equality. I lead from the front, I will die on the front. This war on the poor has gone far enough. What the fuck are you doing? Here's Lilithu Sophia Krishnadas. That's Miss Peaches. And this is Christopher Tapp. Both of them have me blocked. Ed Simmons is a friend of mine. That's the lady who let me use her Facebook account, which has a lot more evidence on it. Her name is Christine Buhit, and Ed Simmons is her ex. We had some pretty interesting conversations. And this is actually what that post is. I read all of your problems. None of you want to work the fuck together, which is why you have those goddamn problems. And Christopher Tapp, he typed, Tammy and the government is why I have my problems, dude. This dude still goes off on about Tammy. Calls her a cunt and a bunch of other fucked up shit. You know, all the stuff that you hate me for. And then some. Alright, this is on my birthday. Fuck Facebook, goddamn mobile fucking messenger. I don't want to give these goddamn crooks permission to know every fucking thing I do just to access fucking Facebook. Now mind you, this one you can tell that it was sent from my computer because it's typed out nicely. You know what the fuck? You know who the fuck I have to talk to? Nobody. If I'm not freaking out on Facebook, none of you give me a second fucking thought. Go happy your fucking self. And Christopher Tapp types, you assume too much. We are victimized for basic survival while you complain about your family problems. You have help. You have love. You get to talk to people. You don't even consider the hell that life would be without them. Do not confuse compassion with love. Feeding a stray cat is compassion. Doing whatever it takes to keep your family off the street, that is love. It was pretty tough. Chris Mitchell, he ditched me. And here's Christopher Tapp. I typed, I swear to fucking God I will pay for the bullets and dig my own hole. If you love me, fucking shoot me. Birthdays are exceptionally tough for me, and that's October 18th, 2016. That's the last time that I ever saw Natalie. And I didn't really have anyone to talk to in Virginia because Brett Roloff was in jail. I typed, I am going crazy. It's not money, it's too much time by myself, talking to myself, knowing I am in bad health, with a bad heart, doing severe manual labor, and it is going to kill me. 2 angels who rescued me tonight are no strangers to my heart, my head or heart. It was human interaction, and that's what I needed. That was Natalie and Alycia Bollinger again on my birthday. And I had been in the heat all day long. I actually have my hospital records from Chesapeake. That was in my car. This is Shea Burton, and she unfriended me. J. Daniel Armstrong unfriended me. It's human interaction I need. A voice, a visit, someone to love who wants to hear me too. Facebook and texting lack that. It's someone who wants to hear me just to hear me, not because I am freaking or Facebook tells them it's my birthday. Thank you though. She typed, I understand. I'd come see you if I wasn't so far and had a vehicle that I trusted going that far. Really? When Natalie died, you ditched me. However, I also got to see her and her boyfriend on the bus from Denver to Pueblo to go stay at Sally Treon's. Shay and her boyfriend were holding hands on the bus, and I took a picture of that. Alright, this is the day after my birthday. I'm not sure how people don't get that I talk to myself. People do not call me unprompted. The call me if you need to talk, no, you missed the point altogether. Are you all that addicted to drama? The point is that you can call me just to say hi, but never do. If I'm freaking out on Facebook, you might, but it's not like you want to actually hear my voice. If you did, you would call just to call. I get that some of you do care about me, but that's not the same as taking the time to dial because you miss me. I should have gone to Labor Ready this morning, but I have a job interview at 3 in Chesapeake for a job that doesn't make me kill myself for crap wages. It's still crap wages, but it's not carrying heavy crap all day with a bad heart, so I hope I get it. I am recovering this morning from 17 hours in a McDonald's parking lot in a very hot car. I love manual labor, but it's going to make me a corpse. Yeah, I was severely dehydrated. That's the day after my birthday. That 17 hours that I spent in the McDonald's parking lot, that was on my birthday, on October 18th. I spent that time in the McDonald's parking lot so that I could see Miss Natalie at her request. And we'll go through all of that too. You all know who I am in person. That guy is a badass. Me on Facebook, probably not someone you want to know. But I don't want to hug you on Facebook either. I want to hug you all and tell you I give a shit in person. That way I can tell you things nobody else has the testicular fortitude to say to your face. Things like, your breath could knock a buzzard off a shit wagon, or you are nuttier than squirrel turds. I went in a few minutes early for my job interview. They took me immediately for an interview and told me they will make the decision today, so I won't have to wait and hope and wait some more. It took 5 minutes. If I get the job, I will likely start tomorrow. If not, I'll be at Labor Ready at 6 a.m. on the dot tomorrow morning. I have canned goods to live on if I get the job, and Labor Ready if I don't. Kinda sick of canned pears and beans, but I'm glad Aunt Bee made me bring them. Now, mind you, I've gotten the new phone from Alycia Bollinger, and the job I had actually applied for was her job because she literally quit 10 minutes after giving me that phone. See 32 more posts about happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. I didn't get the job, but it's okay. Off to Labor Ready, gotta be there by 6 a.m. Joanna Smith, of course, she's supposed to be some fake person who doesn't exist according to the articles I've read online about me. She does actually exist. Nope, no work at Labor Ready either, just hoping I can figure out electronic applications. I was still having problems with electronic applications. Natalie had tried to help me out with Craigslist. And I'll show that later, I'm sure, too. About 10 people posted that their phones are posting stuff they didn't type today. Ghost in the machine. No work at Labor Ready. I have enough change to get a coffee, so I'm going to fill out applications online, I guess. Now, at this point, I've already been arguing with Wes King, who is a friend of Tyler Frerichs's, over that racist post that Tyler posted. And I sat on my phone and slept on it. This right here, I typed it out in English. I don't know what the fuck. The phone was just screwy as all shit. I'm pretending I'm happy. I hope it helps you feel better. This is Osha. She's somebody that I rescued a couple of times while I was living at Ken and Leah's. I just want to curl up in a ball and shrink too small to see. I'm afraid of typing or texting because one misplaced word or person who is insecure and I lose someone I care about. Many in America have terrible comprehension, which is like being dyslexic with entire paragraphs. I never know who is like this, so losing people is common and I can't get them back. I don't want to do anything except love them, but when it's over, it's over. I just want to hide from the world. Going to call someone I love right this minute. And I think I called Miss Peaches, but I'm not for certain. My phone wasn't working worth a shit by this point. My panic attacks are emotionally damaging. I have to hide them in real life so others are not emotionally damaged as well. It sucks and they don't deserve it. I save it until I can't and unleash on Facebook. I cry a lot now. I was stronger in my youth. I do not fear loneliness and did not have people like Veronica Randall and Natalie Marie and Maddie Boa and Brandon and Kim and Sam to fear losing. Good people who deserve me at my best. Now at this point, it was a very complicated thing, and you notice that I didn't type Alycia Bollinger in there because I didn't go to see Alycia. I didn't know Alycia the way that I knew Natalie. Alycia was always demanding all of the attention. Every time we went out, Natalie wanted to hang out and have a one-on-one conversation, but Alycia had to be the center of attention, and she always had to go. And I'm also explaining about my phone here, because this right here I actually typed on my computer. I typed, there are a lot of good folks in my life. I stopped listing because it started tagging people. I thought I unpacked everyone, but my phone hates me. I was pissed off because when I was trying to type that comment, I had to try to retype it like 5 or 6 times, and it fucking sucked. It just sucked. Anyway, I was lucky because that comment came out pretty decent. I need help and I have people who care, but my head is so fucked up right now. And that's because I was severely dehydrated. And I think Alycia had sent me a mean post by that point. I can't remember quite though yet. Had to log back on. I set this so only I can read it. All of my posts from here on in will be like this, so if you can see it, tell me so I can reattempt. My anxiety hurts people. I don't want to hurt people, and I don't want anxiety. It is not okay to explain anxiety to those without anxiety. They will not understand. It will hurt them. They will leave, and my anxiety will get worse. Sometimes I need someone to talk to. It's usually someone specific, and talking to anyone other than them is not okay. It doesn't help me, and it doesn't get the message to the person it needs to. If I need to talk to a specific person, 5 minutes will do, as long as it's just us. It's important to inform people of my anxiety, or they will take offense and stop talking to me. My anxiety will go for months without that 5 minutes. And I will talk to you later works as long as they talk to me later. Instead of ignoring me, people take less offense if I explain before a panic attack happens. If I don't explain it first, they will hurt me unintentionally and take offense to me wanting to talk about it. Typing during an anxiety attack helps, but not when people can read it because they will not understand. Texting someone during a panic attack is sending all my insecurities to them. This allows them to hurt me. It's not what I want to say. It's a bunch of insecure thinking brought on by lack of 5 minutes. Explaining my head takes more than 5 minutes, so if they don't have the time and being patient becomes now, it's too late. I have already tangled it up in my head and the fight is on. Damage control is the best I can do, and that's not enough to repair a week's worth of insecurity. It's not okay to expect anything. It's not okay to keep my mouth shut or it will hurt me, and the consequences are damage control if I'm lucky. Texting is never okay. People will never go to the lengths I will to show I love them. This doesn't make them bad. This doesn't make them bad people. Or people will never love me the way I love them. This does not make them bad people. People with families are not capable of understanding. Don't waste my time. People who aren't autistic will never understand. Don't waste my time. People who love me will not understand. I love them. If I text during a panic attack, if I need to talk and someone who said call them, if I need to talk, won't talk, it's because they don't understand. Just because they're hurting me worse does not mean that it's their intent. People do not put themselves in harm's way to make me hurt. It's not their fault I care. It is not their choice for me to care. It is not their fault I cannot turn it off. That's the thing. Whenever my loved ones, like Miss Jamie putting herself in harm's way, and her son, and a lot of other people for that matter, and Natalie and Alycia by this point as well, I mean, it just scared me. And here I go through a list of what I was diagnosed with. I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, manic depression, social anxiety disorder, and had two doctors argue over if I was autistic or had Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's is on the autistic spectrum. I feel the need to post this because I have issues with everyday life that most people are not aware of and take offense to. I twitch my wrists, blink my eyes one at a time, touch things a lot, walk funny, my face twitches. I get irritable and only a voice can calm me. I scare people when I am scared, and it scares me worse, which scares them. I feel things too deeply, and instead of screaming like everyone else, I try to hold it in and talk in private. I get confused when it's more than one person I am talking to, and I have to explain along a specific line where people don't understand how complex it is. Groups scare me. People talking down to me scares me. People touching me scares me. I try to hug it out. People often think I'm a crackhead when I am nervous, or think I am flirting. When I need to say something, it gets stuck until I say it, and I get really scared if I don't. Then when I need to, I scare people off, and all I need is to talk. I should explain before I have a problem, but I don't always have the chance. And if you guys have paid attention to the story and looked at the messages between Natalie and I, you understand that. Now here is my phone fucking up. This is October 22nd. Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. And then all of this. And then this right here. And then this right here. And then this right here, and then this right here. So I went back to typing on my computer. I didn't pretend to care until you weren't perfect. I didn't choose to need help. Saying I need help doesn't get me help. Telling me to get help doesn't help me get help. I didn't choose not to have a family. I didn't choose to have Tourette syndrome, or to have panic attacks, or to be autistic, or be bullied and treated like a junkie. I don't even do drugs. I don't choose to not have help. Jesus was a bastard. He also had a family that loved him. I am not a bastard. I don't have a family that loves me. Day 5, no sleep. Fuck the police. I think that was what it was supposed to be. Day 5, day 6, something like that. And the police had dropped me off at the hospital in Chesapeake by this point. It sucks visiting people who only pretend to care. Seems popular. Pretend to care, then shit all over me the first chance you get. Now this is me venting. I mean, I am so freaking out over the shit that Alycia had to type, and them calling me a stalker after inviting me there, and all of the shit that they typed that was so pleasant, and then I read stalker in the back of that vehicle. I mean, it was complete bullshit. Not everyone is like this, just the ones apparently that I actually believe when they say, if you need to, call me, but then when I need to, they fucking shit all over me for having emotions and not having a perfect life. I thought I had friends here in Virginia until I actually needed a friend. Then they abandoned me like I'm a puppy that is no longer cute. And then Miss Peaches type come back to Colorado, and Christopher Tapp, that's fuzzy, type then perhaps California. It's nice out here, Cletus. This is a long one. I guess it's not going to let me continue reading it. Oh, it will. This is a long one, though. And this is where I'm trying to explain the best I can what's going on. It says, lots of people have thought I did bad thing that I did not. Last time I was actually the bad guy, I put Zach Metcalf's nose on the side of his head over Kimberly Jepson. That was almost 2 decades ago. Yeah, Zach Metcalf decided he was going to get violent with me over Kim. There was no need for him to get violent. I got in trouble more than he did, though. He threw the first punch. It was stupid. I typed, in the last week I went through hell and got to actually be the bad guy again. It started 2 weeks ago when a friend I came to see said she would spend my birthday with me. We were going to have a picnic. It was pretty important because there were things I wanted to explain to her in private. It's tough to do with more people in the conversation, and she said she would love to. I was having anxiety about talking to her and was afraid something would come up, as it always seems to do in my life. And she kept apologizing to me because her sister had to take her everywhere. And her sister dominated all the conversations. I typed, I worked at Labor Ready for 2 days. It was hell in the heat. 21 hours in 2 days plus 8 hours on the road. That's because I had to ride from Chesapeake, Virginia to North Carolina for work. The only thing I wanted for my birthday was for my birthday to roll around so I could rest. I drove to Labor Ready and they didn't send me out. It sucked and cost money. I didn't like driving here because of all the traffic, so I do my driving at night. I drove to McDonald's by her house and parked for the night, and we were going to meet up around noon. Well, 17 hours later, after losing a lot of sweat and hurting still from Labor Ready, I was having a pretty severe panic attack, and people who never talked to me kept posting happy birthday, and it was driving me nuts. Her sister called and asked if she could come hang out for my birthday. That was Alycia, of course, was asking if she could hang out as well. I told her I was waiting on her sister to call. When she finally did, it turned out she wanted her sister to go. I started feeling like crap. I agreed. We drove for a while, went to a good destination. It was fun, but was cut short. It was cut short because Natalie's mom found her heroin, and we were supposed to have the picnic in her driveway. Neither one of us, not me or Natalie, wanted to go anywhere in a vehicle. And I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Today would probably be a good day to show Natalie and Alycia's conversations with me while in Virginia on my Facebook Messenger, because then you guys really understand that there was no stalking of anyone going on there. I really needed to explain about my panic attacks, but we didn't get to have our picnic, and I was going doing all I could to contain my anxiety. The next day, she texted me once to ask how I was. I responded, but she never texted back. I felt pretty shitty and texted her a few more times. Now, you notice I'm not dropping names in this. I'm trying not to. That's the way that I used to be. Now, once I got back to Boulder, that all changed. It didn't matter trying to keep people's secrets anymore. When they started dropping my name as if I had done things that I didn't, and I was harmed immediately upon returning to Boulder, like, yeah, fuck that. If you're gonna slander my name, god damn it, I'm gonna drop your name like a motherfucker. Let me see. I responded, but she never texted back. I felt pretty shitty and texted her a few more times, but she never responded. The next day, similar scenario. It was really important for me to talk in person since she didn't have the ability to talk on the phone for some reason. But I texted. Bad idea. I hate texting. She didn't respond, and I was getting pretty fucked up in my head over not being communicated with. Now, mind you, I'm not communicating with anybody at this point. Nobody in Colorado, nobody in Nebraska, nobody. I texted a lot, and you see I'm trying to take full responsibility for this. The problem is that I had to continually try to retype my fucking text because it's sending the wrong message, because I've been arguing with this racist asshole friend of Tyler's for like 3 days, and this stuff is like saved in the phone now. It says, I texted a lot, was freaking out, even called hoping to talk, but nope. I got one text, I was having a severe panic attack, and she wasn't responding, and her voicemail was full, not because of me. I never left her one, it was always full. Now mind you, during this period of time, my phone is also calling whoever it is that I called last. It's calling over and over and over again. This is the phone that Alycia Bollinger gave me. Natalie's old broken phone. I typed at this point, my panic attack was so severe I couldn't function and was feeling very neglected and scared and wanted to know what I did wrong. I texted and called all night and into the morning. Going to labor ready, had eaten all my cash and they hadn't sent me out, and I wanted a cigarette. No response. The next day she finally texted me. We hadn't talked since my birthday. I hadn't slept since my birthday, had no food, no money for coffee, and she sent me one text to let me know basically that she was angry I texted and called so much. My anxiety was hell point boiling over. I was so scared, tried not to bug her, tried to be patient, but it was a panic attack, and I know nobody here, and I didn't want her to hate me, and I needed to be able to function. So I called and I sent a lot of texts. She was very angry when she sent the next text, but I just needed to talk. Finally, she said she would, and didn't. I was freaking out so bad, I was going to drive over there and wait for her to talk to me. Mind you, I don't have hardly any gas in my vehicle at this point, and I am having a severe panic attack. I am severely dehydrated. I don't know anybody. I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm in a new area, and any of you who know anything about autism know how fucked up a scenario this is. Anyway, this is where I got to be the bad guy. No sleep for days, no food, hardly anything to drink, and I was following the GPS. It said make a U-turn. Now I'm trying to go talk to Natalie because, like, literally, that telephone is not working and it's not communicating properly and it's just sucking. My foot slipped on the pedal, off the pedal, but I was so out of it, I just pushed my foot on the floorboard. No power steering, so I ended up in 2 lanes. That's because my steering wheel went out, and Laura Nelson and David Nelson can verify that that's a pre-existing problem with that vehicle, by the way. So I ended up in 2 lanes, pointing right at her house. It scared the shit out of me. I put it in park and laid on the horn to keep people around the corner from running into me. Just kept pressing it. I remember seeing a woman mouthing some words. I thought I saw cops on her lips. At that point, a cop wasn't such a bad thing. Everything was pretty fuzzy. My body felt weird and I needed help. Turns out I was dehydrated and am diabetic. Now that's on my paperwork, but by the way, I'm not diabetic. That doctor was just a fucking idiot. Which I found out later. I saw the cops, got out of my apparently not broken car, put my hands up and told them I needed help. They took me to the hospital, said they would help, but no, not really. They made me live through to regret it. They made empty promises and told me I was diabetic, ignored my panic attack issue, thinking it was diabetes related. Hell, might have been. Hell, might have been was going on since my birthday, but that doesn't detract from the fact that plain and simple I was the bad guy. No way to say I'm sorry, no way to get her to talk to me, no way to drive away with my vehicle towed, because it was towed. The hospital wouldn't let me have my phone, and since I refused to hurt myself or others, they let me go. I did not want them to. The help I got was a list of shelters and my vehicle gone, and that was that. The rest of this story is a story of a whole shit ton of good folks. If you want that story, you have to read this one and ask for the good one after. They put so much salt water in me, it's all I can taste and my head hurts. One of the cops at the hospital I rescued in Boulder, he remembered me. I don't remember him. I walked him to a warming shelter, bitched about Steinman the whole way. Now the guy is a cop in Virginia. The story above is worth reading. If you don't understand why I was the bad guy, you should ask a woman what goes on in her head after reading this. I wrote it from the perspective of my panic attack. From her side, it was scary as hell. Told the folks I came here to see that if they ask me to never contact them again, I will never contact them again. She asked me never to contact her again, so I erased both of their numbers and blocked them on Facebook. I kept my word. Anyone else feel unsafe around me? Laugh out loud. On my way to Boulder for a visit, then back to, well, who knows. All of my panic attacks are from people I care about, assuming the worst in me. If you think I will hurt you, you don't know me. It's not fair to me or the people who do know me. I am a good person and a forgiving person. For the sake of myself and the people who know me, I am going to ditch anyone who bullshit, assume the worst, and pretend to care. My life is getting better already. I'm in West Virginia. 3 guys here talking about how Jesus put Trump here to get rid of black folks. They didn't use the word black, though. Kinda reminds me of Nebraska. I hope the ocean swallows the South. I'm outside Charleston. Was going to talk some crap and take a nap, but it's too hot to sleep in my car. Gotta head down the road with the windows cracked. Guess I'll have to drive with all the asshats on the road. Morons, don't they know I'm a scary driver? And I really am. I shouldn't be driving. This is when I got back to Boulder. That's the moose outside of the Starbucks on Pearl Street. In Missouri, 12 hours from Boulder, Colorado. Will likely nap and hit the road again. This is the day after, because this is an old picture. I thought this was the day that I showed up in Boulder, but apparently it's not. Caitlin Rose,